Hi, I'm Alex Ranahan, and welcome to Mind Over Matter, the TV show that gives your mental health a voice. So today we're going to be speaking to a variety of different people about their mental health stories and what they're doing to help them to cope. We're then going to have a mental health discussion panel, followed by our mental health game show. So stay tuned for more Mind Over Matter.
Hello, this is Mind Over Matter. My name is Angie, and today I'm going to be presenting Winnie, who's going to talk about her relationship and what she actually went through and how she overcome that. So, hello Winnie.
Hi,
Lovely
Angie.
to have you on the show.
Thank you for having me.
That's okay, it's nice to see you. Right, so tell me what happened in your relationship.
Okay, so I'll share my mental health
Yes.
story. It's actually about relationships.
Yes.
Living with one who has mental health, issues.
Okay.
And having one as well.
Yes.
So, I was in love with this person. We were together. And I only found out, he only told me that he has the mental health disorder when we're together already.
Right.
And obviously me being in love, I was like, I'll support you. I'll be here no matter what happens. At first, of course, it was okay. Honeymoon stage where we love
love.
each other, in love, happy. Then all of a sudden, obviously, after a number of years, comes the issues. Well, through those years, he would have anxiety attacks, depression, and me having no problem. I'd always be like, what do you want me to do every time you're having that?
You was on
attack?
guard all the time. You never knew when it was
Yeah,
going to-
yeah. You don't know when it's going to
happen.
happen. But you usually would just stay in the room and doesn't want to be bothered.
Okay.
And then you get worried. But
Yep.
that's not the main thing. What happened between us is when his other personality came out,
Okay.
who is more aggressive than him. So you wouldn't know whether you're dealing with him that you love or the other personality that's a bit aggressive.
Yeah, split
to the
personality.
to the point that he cheated on me.
Oh.
And you being in love, that's devastating.
Yes.
That really hurts you, And then cheating on me, finding out, that was really hurtful. Looking at the proof,
Yeah.
confronting him.
Okay.
I left our place 12 midnight looking for a taxi. And I was crying
Okay.
with my suitcase, and I went to a friend, and I remember my friend even said, "This is the first time I saw someone with 4 tears rolling from her eyes." I was really hurt because I love him so much. So how can you do this?
Yeah.
I took care of you. I took care of the house. My role as your partner, I fulfilled it. And yet you did this to me.
How long was you in this relationship for?
I've been with him. That was our 4th year, actually.
Okay.
So, and aside from that, so he cheated on me over sugar babes.
Sugar babes.
Yeah.
Right.
The
Okay.
young ones, and is like giving money to that woman,
Yeah.
dating him, paying
You
for
knew
everything.
all about. Did he tell you all about this?
He didn't. I found out.
found out.
Yeah, I found out. And obviously when I found out, that was really hurtful. And then my friend said, "You know what? He's a sick person. If you really love him, when someone is sick, you're not going to leave him, right? You have to stay by his side and took care of him." So I went back.
Right.
I went back and we were crying that, we love each other. Didn't mean to do it. But then it got worse. Not only, he said he's not going to date her again, but I found out he did. And in not just one woman. Another woman came in the story. And then after that, not only that, he said he wants an open relationship, which is against it. I cannot.
Did you agree with that?
Of course not.
Okay.
No way. That's the point that really,
Right.
no way.
So this was at the end now of the
Yes.
relationship.
So he wants an open relationship, and he wants that. I'm into it as well. I said, I'm not that person. That's not me. So all those time, that's the time that I really decided I have to leave him. Because he already gave me an ultimatum. Like, either I agree to that or we separate. And of course, I decided to leave.
Okay.
And all those times, we actually decided to have a couples therapy, but because it's not gonna be saved anymore.
Yeah,
the
that's what I was going to ask.
Yeah.
Did you try anything to resolve them problems
At
or anything?
first, yeah, we, through a friend as well who said go for couples therapy, and that's what we
Yeah.
did.
Okay.
But obviously, after the first therapy, never. It's not gonna happen.
no, it doesn't happen
yeah.
overnight, does it?
Yeah,
It's
and
a
even the
work in progress.
therapist said she doesn't think that she can help us because he has a mental health problem. He has this borderline personality disorder.
Okay,
He has
right.
anxiety, he has depression, so it's not gonna work.
Personality disorder.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is
Was he getting
hard
help
to
for
deal
that?
with.
Was he getting
He's
help?
getting help
Well, was
at
he-
first with the NHS and then with a private therapist.
Okay.
But it got worse when he was getting help because the private therapist said let the other personality come out, or if he has several, I don't know.
Wow.
But-
because you've got to understand that as well,
Exactly.
haven't you?
And it's
so
scary.
You're going into that place he's
Yes,
in
yeah,
as well.
yeah.
To relive what he's going
But
through.
I was so
and-
supportive. Even when he was like going to
Yeah.
therapy, I would wait for him. We would meet up in London Bridge after his therapy. And I thought that was helping him and that we will, we will have a solution to our problem. But it got worse. And, when the other
Was he
personality
violent or
come-
anything like that? Or
He's not
outbursts?
violent, but he would say things that's really hurtful. Like he would say, because obviously I would kind of confront him why, and then he would say things like, "You're not beautiful anyway." Things like that, and so that would hurt you as well. I mean, you would think that I'm enough or I'm okay, and now later on you kind of hear this and would think, so I'm not enough.
Oh,
I'm not okay.
no, you're going through it
Yeah,
as well, aren't
yeah.
you? So did you get any help, Winnie, with...
I did. So when the
this.
therapist said that she can't help us, but she can help me because she can see that I'm so deeply hurt.
Yeah.
And I agreed to that. And that really
Good.
helped me a lot.
Yeah, I was going to say that's a really good thing that you've done.
Yes, because the pain was so much. I can't even look at the mirror. I don't want to look at myself in the mirror. If I look at the mirror, I'd see my face like dropping.
Okay.
Like I'm getting old and I look so ugly and I'm like fat.
Did he ever say things like that to you in that relationship?
Did he what? Sorry?
Did he say things like that to you? Your confidence? Did you lose your confidence
I
through
did.
this?
I did. Because he's going for the young women. And I'm in my
Oh, okay.
50s.
Yeah.
And he's going for the 19-year-old, 20-year-old women.
Okay.
What can I... I'm not a match for that. Well, maybe wisdom and experience, but still it hurts.
It hurts,
me,
doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you put so much into that relationship.
Exactly. Yeah.
And you obviously try to help him and get help for yourself. So you wanted that relationship to
to
work.
work. But it's...
what happened in the end?
In the end, he wants to party and be with different women.
Wow.
So I left him. I'm on my own and went through therapy myself.
Good.
Which is really a good help.
Yeah, because he knows what he's got to do.
Yes.
At the end of the day, he's got that personality disorder.
Yeah.
It's up to him to get the help.
Exactly.
So
and
the
it's up to me
relationship-
to get help as well.
Yeah, it's important that you get the help.
Yes.
You've got to look
Oh my
after number
gosh.
one.
Yes, I was crying all the time. I was working. Even my boss said, if you want to take a leave, go. But then
Yeah.
I said, I can't. I'll just always cry.
Oh,
Can you imagine
so
every time I
sad.
step out of the office, I would just cry along
Yeah.
the hallway, in the toilet.
So you lost all your confidence with that.
Yeah.
And it affects everything, doesn't it?
Everything.
Down to your job. You was working at the time.
You can't focus.
You can't
really.
focus.
And all you can think of are negatives.
Yeah.
That I'm not worthy. I'm so stupid.
Oh.
All those things you kind
But
of think.
did you have support around you? Like, did you have family?
My
Did you have
family,
friends?
I'm all alone I have an aunt, but I'm on my own. My family is in the Philippines. I have friends. They did help me. And I remember in the office, I told them, please don't ask me how I am. Because I would just start crying. So I told them not to ask how I am. I
Right.
think I dealt
So you
with
dealt
it.
with it inwardly yourself.
Yeah. And with the help of the therapist. I guess. That really helped me a lot.
Yeah,
Even
I
my
think you need
friend
that
in the
support.
office was
So
saying that
important.
you're recovering well, Winnie. And
Yeah,
I said,
yeah.
thank you. I think I'm a good patient because I followed what the therapist said.
Yes.
And I think for everyone suffering, having an issue mentally, emotionally, yeah, go for therapy. It really helped me. It's a hard process, a difficult a painful process.
Yeah.
Because you have to like dig deeper
You do.
within you.
That's right.
But in the end, it did help me.
Oh, that's so good, Winnie. I'm
Thank
so
you.
happy that you finally made that decision to leave him. Unfortunately,
Not all women.
you didn't want to do that, did you?
No.
You gave it
I was
your
so
best
in love
shot.
with him. Yes.
Yeah, I can hear it in your voice.
Yeah.
You
I
know.
remember at that time, I was like, this is it. This is my life. I'll be with him forever for the rest of my life. We'll grow old together.
Yeah, I think that's what you do when you get a little bit older. You look for that partner, don't you, that you're going to stay with.
Yeah. And remember,
And-
I'm in my 50s. He's like, we're both in our 50s. He's 5 years older than me, or was it 6? So I was thinking, nothing's going to happen. We'll end up with each other. But that didn't happen.
Oh,
isn't
that's
it?
so sad.
So no
But-
one knows what's going to happen in the...
No,
and no
we
matter
never
what
know.
you do, yeah. I cleaned the house, as a wife, I
Yeah.
did my part. I
Yeah.
feel like I'm the wife, isn't it? I took care of him, his clothes, the laundry. I did the wife's role, everything, and even the bedroom. So what else?
I know. It's so difficult.
It
Winnie.
is,
But
it
you've,
is.
you're such a lovely person.
Thank you.
Lovely personality. You got the looks. You got everything, and you're happy now, aren't you?
I'm happy now.
You've made a good choice.
Yes, and the thing that I have done as well is be productive. Like don't sulk, don't just stay in the house and think of how bad you are, but think of what can you do.
Exactly.
And what is the best thing that would bring out the best in you, the best thing that you can do. So I joined fashion shows, I joined photo shoots.
Wow.
I try doing I'm now doing extra on
Yeah.
TV and film. So and
Yeah.
I love it. I love being knowing different people,
Yeah.
going through different situations, and I feel proud that I was able to do that aside
Yeah,
from
that's
working
right.
Monday to Friday, and then you have this other life on a weekend. And so now, you know what, I think what's important is being you.
Yes.
And being happy.
Yeah. Finding that within yourself.
Yeah, that's the reason why I left him, because bottom line is, am I happy being like this, or am I being miserable? It's just gonna make you ugly.
Yes.
Uglier, actually.
Yeah.
So
you
why
gave it
stay?
everything, didn't you? By
Yeah,
the sound
yeah.
of it, you gave it everything you
Yes, yes. And if it's
And-
hurting you that much already and hurting you mentally, leave.
Yes.
Don't stay.
got. Yes.
Please.
And that's your mission today, isn't it? To put that out
That's why I'm
for
sharing
people.
it. Yes.
To
Exactly.
Just try your best,
If it's
and if
not
it's not
you,
there-
yeah, if it's not you, then why agree? Just because of love.
I know. It's a
So-
difficult thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it is difficult, but you'll get over it.
Yeah.
I mean, you pass through it, and you'd be
Oh.
joyful. You'd be like, yeah, this is me, the strong Winnie. So
Oh, you've done so well, Winnie. And it was
Thank
so
you.
lovely to have
Thank
you
you.
today.
Thank
it
you.
really was. I mean that.
yeah.
So now we're going to finish our interview. But thank you so much, Winnie.
Thank you so much for having
Thank
me.
you.
Welcome to Mind Over Matter. I'm Denny Miller, and today I'm going to be interviewing Angela Bronnin, a wonderful lady who's got an amazing story to tell. The story is based on PTSD and how that's affected her life. So let's hear what she's got to say.
Oh,
Welcome,
hello,
Angie.
Oh, hello, Denny. It's lovely to meet you as well.
And lovely to meet you.
Yeah.
So tell me, what's your story?
Well, where do I start? Firstly, I'd like to say being here today,
Yeah.
Mind Over Matter, is
Yeah.
massive for me.
Yes.
Because I looked into the actual wordings of Mind Over Matter.
Yes.
And it's all about the brain, how it works, how you can heal
Yes.
from that. I found that really fascinating.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit like my story because I was really affected with post-traumatic stress disorder,
Okay.
PTSD. And for me, this happened when I was very small, actually, when I lived with my mother and stepfather.
Yeah.
there was a lot of anxiety in the family. It was a dysfunctional family, and to me, anxiety was normal. I grew up with it. I just thought it was my makeup. That was how it's going to be. So I went through life with anxiety, and I didn't realise I had anxiety until I was later on in life, when I started taking up counselling courses, and I went to college, and the tutor said, we're going to learn about anxiety today, and I'd got all the symptoms. I thought, wow, you know, I'd gone through life with this feeling of being suppressed because I wasn't allowed to talk about certain things at home. And when we had people round, it was all suppressed. We put on a big facade, you know, it was all lovely, happy family. And then I used to just take the mask off and get on with my day, and that's what I'd done.
So tell me, what does your relationship with anxiety look like?
It's like panic. This is how I can only explain it. You get anxiety, your stress levels are high. Well, I used to get that a lot growing up, all through my life, really. Anyway, my life sort of continued with this, and I lost my mum, and it was through grieving. This was 18 years ago now. So I went through the grieving process, and I was always back and forwards at the doctor's at this certain time with different things going on, and I didn't know it was all to do with grieving. And the doctor said, Angela, we're going to send you for some tests. We think it's your gallbladder that's affecting you with the sickness and things like that. So anyway, I went to the hospital and started having tests and everything. So they said, we're going to remove your gallbladder, which I've still got, by the way. I thought I'd just let you know about that. Anyway, I had the operation. My husband was called over to the hospital within 1 hour, and they told him basically that I'd got 3 months to live. It was terminal cancer, and this was in the October. She won't make Christmas. Just like that. Okay, my husband had to come home and tell all the family what had happened, and that Angela, 3 months to live. And I had started having friends coming round, and I could see by their faces what was happening, because I wasn't, my husband said to the doctors, please don't tell her. I don't know how she's going to respond to this, you know. And obviously the doctors don't know.
At this point, you had no idea what the diagnosis was?
Well, they said to me that they've found several tumours on my liver, and I put 2 and 2 together because the Macmillan nurses were coming in. We was talking about certain things. We got a bed, we bought a new bed because we had a house, and the upstairs, they knew that I wouldn't be able to make it upstairs. So we bought a bed to keep downstairs, and but the only thing I couldn't face was my son. That was the worst. Even now when I think about it, I can get upset over that. He was 18 at the time. So he was just starting out, you know, his life was just started. Anyway, it does go on a little bit, the story, but
no problem.
What I need to put out is how I overcome that, because for 2 weeks I had to go for various tests and scans, and then we went back to see the surgeon, and he got up and he said, Angela, you haven't got cancer, you're going to live. And it was like another, you know, what? How can you just do that without any biopsies, without nothing? It's what they thought they saw on my liver, white spots. It indicated liver cancer. So immediately that's what he thought. Anyway, so I got over that eventually, but when I say I got over that, I was arranging my own funeral. And my mum had coloured balloons, and I wanted all that. So I wanted it all lovely, and you know, the funeral. I started writing letters to everybody. And then I got the good news. So now it's party. Everybody was coming round that night. When I got the diagnosis in the afternoon, we had a big party, and everyone was celebrating, and I was putting on this front that everything was okay, you know, and it was great. But then everybody went home, and after about a couple of weeks, I started to slip, and my husband said to me, Angie, it might be better that if you got back into work again. And I was a demonstrator in store. I go in store and I sell things and demonstrate and promote, and that's what I done. I went back into work, and because I hadn't been into work, everyone was saying to me, where have you been? So
you had to
I had to relive the story. over and over again.
Yeah.
And with the story, I was getting really upset.
Yes.
I'd rush off the floor, I'd go into the toilet, compose myself, come back out. And this happened probably 10 times a day. Yeah, 10 times a day I was doing this story, because although I was promoting things, my manager used to come in and say to me, it's quite funny actually, she'd say, Angie, she said, what are you doing asking people what tablets they're on and things, you know, talking about mental health. You're here to sell yogurts and promote razor blades, you know. Anyway, that was because I've got quite personality, you know, I love meeting people, just
really
love it, it's my
nice,
thing, that's what I do. But this I couldn't cope with. It was something, wow, this is
So what were
too
your
big.
coping mechanisms?
Well, what happened was I didn't process it. We didn't know anything about this years ago. It wasn't out there. So I didn't process anything. But I started counselling and therapy work and got through everything. But that's not where it ends, because I didn't know, but I'd got post-traumatic stress disorder, which wasn't picked up by anyone in the health trade and everybody. Nobody picked it up at all until my friend said to me, we think you're suffering from PTSD. Have a look at the symptoms, which I did, and I got home and checked.
So it was a self-diagnosis.
It was a self-diagnosis, but I got help from it.
Yeah.
But that's the other thing, when you've got post-traumatic stress, you need help then and there. You need it straight away. And you have to go on a list. And where I lived, there wasn't available somebody that knew about PTSD to come in and help me, so I was put on a waiting list, which was quite a while. So when
what did you do in between that? What's your
I had
journey
good
looking
friends.
like now?
Well, I haven't got a large family, so the support I had was just my friends really. But I didn't want to tell too many people because I was getting upset all the time over it, especially my husband. So I couldn't tell him. It was all suppressed. Everything was suppressed. And then when I did get the treatment, oh wow, it was amazing. Within 3 sessions, it had worked. I had the rapid eye movement treatment, which makes the thought from here go to the back a little bit, you know. And today, I'm over it, and it's just
that's
amazing.
Wonderful to hear.
Yeah, I'm practically over it. I mean, I've still got the scars.
Yes, of course.
I will always have the scars. But through it, I've gone into acting, and I absolutely love it. I can't get enough of it.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, and I feel really great. And that's what I want to say to people. If you are suffering, please get help. It's out there. And I've wrote a book. It's not been published yet.
So,
but it's on my journey.
It's amazing what you've gone through, and I think it's wonderful. So your word to people out there, if they're going through anything like that, go out there and seek help.
Definitely.
Okay, so thank you, Angie, for sharing your story.
Thank you,
I know there's so much more to it, and I'll be excited to speak to you again. So everybody, thank you so much for joining us on Mind Over Matter with this wonderful story from Angela. It has been an amazing experience speaking to her. Thank you very much, and we'll look forward to seeing you soon.
Good afternoon and welcome to Mind Over Matter. I'm Anastasia and we have Kelly here today sharing her story. Welcome, Kelly.
Hello, hi.
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 Thank you for coming.
That's okay.
What story have you come to share with us today?
I always talk all around the place, but I've got ADHD. I was kind of told at, little school I had it as well. But it wasn't really followed up.
Yes.
And like I said, I experienced a extremely bad childhood. And obviously, depression, you can't organise things, you can't do this, you can't do that sometimes. And the blame's put onto that, I didn't have medication or anything for the ADHD.
Yeah.
So I kind of believed them labels as well. I try not to actually, most of the time, but I started ADHD medication last year. My psychiatrist said it for years, you know, you have got it. And I was like, but is there a point in getting the diagnosis? And she said, yes, you know, that the medication, you know, has done wonders even for a 70-year-old lady, you know.
Yes.
And I was like, okay, this sounds okay then, it's going to help me. And I don't actually usually take medication. I'm not really a big fan of it. But yeah, since I'd...
So why don't you believe in medication then? Do you believe in
Just
more of
not
the
take-
natural methods?
No, it's not that. I just don't think you should take what you shouldn't need. But I need this one. Like I think it's erythritol or, you know, for my gut. So I have to take that. I've got no choice. But, you know, if I didn't have to, I wouldn't. Because my dad took so much medication that you could really see how it affected him within 15 years. You know, he was a gorgeous man at 40, you know, years, and then by kind of like 58, you know, he looked, you know, older for his age rather than younger for his age when he was 40, and a lot of that was the medication he was taking.
And do you think ADHD comes from, is it a genetic thing or is it just something that you were born with?
100% it's genetic.
It's it runs in your family?
100%. My son has autism, my sister has Asperger's. My dad was never officially a diagnosed or anything, but you know, it's like we know that you know the cause. And I think I mentioned that I found my nan after 47 years. She left my dad when he was 7, and she, you know, you could tell. Like as soon as I met her, it's funny because when it's like taken away from me the whole time, so I can see it.
Tell someone has ADHD?
Oh, it's not that. It's the eccentricness from her, you know, or the
hyperness.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I know what you mean. And some people don't even get diagnosed, some people don't even know if they have it.
Yeah, or they get told it and never really do anything about it.
Yeah. And you don't feel, you don't like labelling it then?
So that's really interesting because that's what I mean. When I started taking the medication, my whole thought process changed. I thought about everything differently, you know, my life, what had happened, and it was making me really like energetic, and I was cleaning and doing everything, and you know, I could see things differently, like, oh my god, that really doesn't look great, you know.
But is it anxiety when you're all over the place? Does that link to ADHD too? Do you know what I mean? Because
yeah, but I think the medication, because it brings you up, so it kind of like balances your dopamine levels. So before, I used to eat very quickly, and my children used to go, "Mummy, why do you eat so fast?" And I kind of remember my dad like, and you just think that's normal. The medication, I don't eat all the time, you know. And my little boy was like, "You're the last person on the table now," you know. So the medication has really helped slow down things.
So when you said that, obviously you start to eat faster, or you feel more hyper.
Yeah, like I dropped 3 stone last year.
Yeah.
So that's had an amazing, you know, thing on my mental health, on depression, on, you know, yeah.
But how else did it affect you in your daily life?
In my daily life,
having
so
ADHD.
It's really, really. Hold on, let me just try and think about this a little bit. So I didn't see it as it was affecting me. I just knew that was a kind of thing that they thought I had, right?
Yeah.
So up to last year, it wasn't like I was understanding how it's affecting me, because I'd been labelled from my past, you see, because of the abuse that had happened. So it's like, well, if she's doing something wrong, it's because of that, you know, or it's bound to happen. But that's not actually true now, because the medication has changed me. The only thing is when I was with my partner at the time, you know, we had a very kind of scheduled routine, and then as soon as I started taking it, he's like, dinner's at 8. I didn't want to eat at the time, and the medication's getting into your body, you see. So that completely, put our routine out of place, which didn't help him very much. But yeah, I spent a lot of time thinking.
So how did it affect your relationships? Or did it affect?
It has, because partners have seen things in me which, well, I mean, that's to do with the abuse a little bit, but can you say the abuse, or can you say, you know, the ADHD, you see? Because had I had this medication at school, I feel my life would have been very differently. Sorry. I couldn't take in information properly. I can't read books properly, you know, because of my attention span. So it's like I won't read instructions, which is really silly, because now I can.
No, yeah, of course. You learn as you get older.
Yeah, which has helped me, because I think,
Yeah.
do you know what? And like I said, now it's the HSD possible label. And I shouldn't really feel happy about it, but at least I don't like the labelling thing, right?
Yeah.
But because you have to be who you are in life, instead of me going, I've got depression, this, you know, things that sound really like, oh, well, she's not HSD, it's got it all rolled in, you know, everything, anxiety. I don't need to be specific. So that's good for me in that way, because I feel better having that label
And
than the broken.
It's not about having labels and having diagnosis and disorders or whatever. It's about how you manage it.
But then I
Does
believe
that make sense?
100%. But then in my situation, the abuse was so bad that it went to the Old Bailey, and I was told that it was the worst in social services for 25 years. But they just kind of left me to get on with life. I wasn't helped, but that doesn't matter. I'm not going to say I wasn't or was. But yeah, that's it. That's the label. And I remember like going, like I didn't want counselling at first, because they made a big thing out of it. They wouldn't give me counselling because I was nearly 18. And they said you can't have counselling, it's going to go to the Old Bailey. So they got one of them, is it responsible adults or something like that? Started talking for 10 minutes, and she burst out crying, and I'm thinking, well, you know, I've got really no one to talk to, because I'm on a much higher understanding of this. And that is why, you know, it annoys me on TikTok when there's a woman on Minecraft, and she's saying, you know, if you're abused, you're broken, and you know, my partner at the time really truly believed these words because he doesn't know anything else. And I'd like to say to her, well, have you been through the abuse? And just because, you know, you think you can tell everyone that you're broken, like not everybody.
She shouldn't be posting negative things.
Oh, she does though. It's pretty disgusting, actually. I couldn't believe it. She's saying, well, if you have a child, that child's going to have a really bad life. And well, that is the perception. As soon as I had my son, Brandon, you know, I had social workers from my bed at 9 o'clock the next morning.
Oh my God.
Yes, exactly, because they don't know. They didn't know. It's like, you know, and I had to say, do you know what? Leave me. I don't want to be reminded of this all the time.
No, exactly.
Yeah? So I got out of the system.
Yeah.
With my son, you see. And the minute I did that, and nobody kind of knew that little bit, it was all okay.
Yeah. People are very quick to judge, basically.
100%. And I think that the nation is breaking the nation, because, you know, I had a little chat with the other panellists out there.
Yeah.
And if somebody is in a wheelchair, you know, we accept that that's what they are. But my abuse, there's not really. Well, how do you label it then? You're not going to say it's really good, are you? No, exactly. So, you know, people are going, well, we don't really know about it because they have just got it off of Freud, you know, Sigmund Freud. 150 years ago, based on them kind of people, you know, and that attitude. I think somebody needs to turn around and say, look, okay, I understand where I didn't have the care now, like washing or things like that, you know, and obviously when you're told something's a table when you're a child, you're going to believe it's a table. You know, your parents say that's what you're going to believe, isn't it? Or,
yeah, of course.
Yeah, because I come from both sides. I've got my other family, Vic Phillick, a very famous guitarist for the James Bond. So
that's cool.
It is quite cool. A lot of music, a lot of music.
Yeah.
So you've got the two families. So you've got my dad's family. When I go over there, once a week on a Saturday, stripping me off, redressing me, this is how you dress, this is how you do it, know. And then you got coming back home, stripped off and back in kind of like the rags. It's a bit like Cinderella, really.
Yeah.
And I used to wear glasses and I didn't look cool at all. And I was really bullied, but I believed in morals, and I was brought up to believe in the Bible as a child, and I believe, or that was something that was, running in my family, quite a strong thing, and just them things helped me, because I think we do need like a rule system, and the 10 Commandments, when it goes to do not steal, do not hurt, do not, like if somebody's nasty to you, don't do anything. So the kids used to all throw stones at me and pick on me.
I was told that too, yeah.
Yeah, and my mum said, okay, well next time you say it, say, sticks and stones will break your bones, but names will never hurt you. So I went and did that, and then they all started throwing sticks at me. But I never reacted to them. I was just different. I'm just different. I'm very different to the rest of the world, I think.
Yeah.
Because I've had to deal with something.
And different is good.
So dramatic.
Yeah.
That it's made me really intelligent now with the medication, because it's like, when you're going through that as a child and you can't speak to anyone at all, really, and when I did say something, I wasn't believed. It was like, oh no, well, she's kind of making it up. I was 4.5.
Yeah.
4.5. So I did say something straight away, but they just made up what they wanted to say and said what they said, and then I was like, well, he said, well, no one's going to believe you now, sort of thing.
Yeah.
So
it sounds really like a tough life. But you're doing well.
I am.
I've seen your TikTok and 50,000 followers you've got.
Yes, exactly.
So follow her on TikTok.
I think it depends on what label you want to believe in. Like I just think to myself, look, I've been through a lot, but I'm not going to waste my life. I only get one life at the end of the day, and I can either sit here and go on about it, or just live life and go and travel, and that's what I did.
That's really
I've enjoyed
good.
life. I've travelled. I've still seen the
and
good.
You've still got time to enjoy life as well.
Yes. Yeah.
It's never too late.
Never too late. I've done the right thing. I tried to get back what I could see. Lived on a estate. Anyway, I could talk all night, really.
Yeah, well, thank you very much for sharing your story with us today. And we hope to see you again on the next episode.
Yes.
Do follow her on TikTok. You're on social media. What's your TikTok handle?
It's Kelly Flick 27.
Kelly Flick 27.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, and we'll see you in the next interview. Thank you.
Hello and welcome to Mind Over Matter. My name is Alex and I'm joined by Helen. And we're going to be talking about anxiety in the workplace and just some coping mechanisms to help deal with it. So Helen, tell me a bit more about your story.
Hi, I'm Helen, and I previously I was a manager and I was going through a lot of things, the trouble. So when I was promoted, I thought, yes, I can do it. But then the pressure came, so I wasn't able to sleep properly. I was the anxiety is all the words lingering in my head, so I'm finding it difficult. So I thought, hey, there's something wrong with me. And as years go, I'm having that kind of like the pressure is all on me. As I said, I couldn't sleep properly, and I even went out to seek an advice from from my doctor, and then he asked me what sort of work I do, and I said I was a manager to this place. And then of course, so he actually said, oh, you must be stressed out. I said, well, yes, pressure was there because I wasn't been performing pretty well. The numbers wasn't there, and then every time I go into a meeting, I kind of like mumbled up. So I'm kind of like very scared to actually talk about my numbers on a day. So I've got that fear, and sometimes I sit at the back and I just sit quietly, looking at everyone, and I think everyone think that I'm actually, there's something wrong with Helen.
Yeah, it's not you.
So it's not me at all. So literally, I'm a very bubbly person. I took a lot as well, but when it comes to facing my demon at work, it's different. I was like, oh God, Helen, come with it.
Yeah.
So I kept telling myself, I talked to myself, and then that's like, Helen, yes, you can do it. But I still have that problem. At the end of the day, when I go home, I take it out to my family, so it does affect the family cycles. My husband, we argue a lot because of the pressure that I get from the work in the management, the work environment. And so I said, well, what shall I do? I couldn't, as I said, even my sleeping pattern has literally got affected. I couldn't sleep.
No.
Keep turning, you got that voice lingering in your minds. And I said, well, I'm not hearing it. That's because you couldn't sleep. You got all that things
just going around in a circle,
around your head. Yeah, so I get up, I try to relax myself, meditate. I kind of like inhale, exhale 4 times, count 4 times, read books, just to put me to relax, to sleep. I'll say from the 15 years I was a manager, in the public sector, it was difficult. There's happy days, moments, but then again it got difficult because of the pressure that we got, we not getting the support from what we needed, the resources that we should be having wasn't there. No. So the help wasn't there, and it was a massive impact to my me having the anxieties. As I said, I went out to speak to my doctors. Medication was prescribed, but I didn't want to dwell on the medication that would help me to survive the day. So no, I did not continue with that. So I said I need to find a way to get myself back to perform well when I go to work.
Yes, so find yourself again.
To find myself again. So I actually, from then, I put myself, work out, because that's the way of me to relieve all the stress.
Just get out of the system.
Out, yes. Sometimes I shout out, I'm in my car, play the loud music, sing loud with it, just to get all that talking from my head.
I think it's also like you have this incredible ability to communicate, but then when you find that you're diminishing yourself, just taking the personal moments to really reconnect and to really get it out.
Yeah, by doing my my workout and all that, and also with the self-love, self-meditation, compassion. I said, look, Helen, that's not you.
No.
Because when I took this manager position, I'm ready for it. I can do it. I know from myself I can. Yeah. But as I said, the people that I work with, in general, I'm pretty sure everybody in general, they're not there to support you. They should support us in terms of be who you are, so you'll be able to perform well. So as I said, I need in that entire year, I have to face my demon, to go to I have to talk to these people, not getting scolded. When you get scolded, that's when it started to ring on my head that I'm going crazy because I'm talking to myself.
But I don't think that's crazy though. You're finding a way to be able to channel your own emotions.
Then again, it's because of how they look at you. It actually puts me down more. So it's affecting my mental health. My mobility of performing well at work is no longer there, because you've got that, I've got that
the demon. But then if they're not giving you the support at work, how did you find your support network?
Well, the support is me reaching out. I did speak out. I said, look, listen, you need to help me in order for me to perform well with what I do, being to work well. Then give me the resources. You need to help me.
Yeah.
So I did actually. There's a few people that I did talk as well that going through the same situation as me.
Yeah.
It did help, because we kind of like all work together.
Yeah.
How are we gonna cope with it? How are we gonna cope with the pressure? So I said, well, don't take the work home with you, because at the end of the day, it will, it will impact in your livelihood.
Was there anything that you found that were the red flags of this kind
The
of...
red flag for me is that I'm not being myself.
Yes.
That's the red flag that I said, oh, there's something wrong with me now. I mean,
Yeah.
I literally need to talk to somebody so I can perform well. So
Yeah.
because I'm just sitting there at the back quietly, and I'm feeling like I'm too kind of like scared to, when
put
they
your
call
hand
out
up
your
to-
name, Helen, how did you give us your,
Yeah.
shout out your numbers and this and that. So it's like, okay, the things I want to say doesn't want to come out.
No.
And I feel so scared to kind of like speak out. And I said to myself, they're just like you.
Yeah,
They
sure
are
is.
just like, we're on the same boat, same situation. So why would I be so scared about
Yeah.
speaking out in front of them? But again, it's because they want my above superior wasn't so
He wasn't giving
He
you what
wasn't
you needed.
giving me-
He didn't give the
no.
resources either. So it's
Not
almost
at
like you
all.
were set up to not to be able to succeed.
Mm.
So instead of going, hey, Helen, we've given you this workload that's a little bit too much. We've put you into a new position. We've promoted you.
But I
from
know
your-
that I can excel.
Yeah, you're competent. That's why
I'm
you got it.
competent to do, but it's
Yeah.
because they actually make you more. How do you say incompetent? The word like you
Yeah.
can't do the work because it's the way how they
Yeah.
treat you in a way of where you work. So
Yeah.
where I work, but then for me to tackle that problem is I did speak out. I said, look, I need to maybe move to a different superior.
Yeah.
That did help out in a way because I was able to speak out more to my superior when I did ask for the move out, to transfer for me to a different environment.
And
I
you
got the
did.
resource, and it did help me because it did actually. The pressure is still there.
But then what would you say was the one thing that you did as our takeaway from here to be able to get past that pressure, and what you'd like the people watching this to be able to take away from
To
from our
take
time together?
away I would say from my own experience, for what I've learned is they should be able to spot the red flag. If you needed help, give them the resources, and that would actually makes more for the work environment will be a lot better, and everybody will perform lower to the second level or to the superior. It will actually make things a better work,
Yeah.
a better place to work. I'd say so. It's literally the resources, and also be able to reach out to your
support network to other
a support
people that
network,
can help
to
you.
the other people that actually do, because be able for them to spot the red flag if that person needed help in terms of coping to
Absolutely.
how to perform well with what they do.
Thank you very
Yeah.
much, Helen. I guess the big takeaway as well is that if you aren't getting that support and you notice that you're changing who you are, then that you can still find yourself for reading, for meditating,
absolutely.
for going to the gym, and also you found that inner strength within yourself,
I agree.
and you reached out and you changed the situation.
Yes, I
so
agree.
thank you very much, Helen.
Yeah, so I did that. So I said, well, I need to bring Helen back out again. The bubbly Helen, the personalities out there, talks a lot, and also be able to communicate and also mingle with, be able to kind of like have that good conversation with other people, and as I said, work out, going to the gym, even though finding like 2 hours a day for your time moment. Self-care is very important. I say meditate, just find a little quiet corner and then talk to yourself. I said inhale, exhale, and then
And that's
another.
brings yourself to yourself. Well, Helen,
Yes.
thank you so much for your time
Yes.
together.
Well,
with
thank
me.
you,
And-
Alex.
And
Thank
you.
you.
It's been amazing. So there you have it. So lots of different ways to cope with anxiety. And remember, if you're finding things tough in the workplace, then there's always a solution. And feel free to
Absolutely.
reach out.
Welcome everybody to Mind Over Matter. We're going to have a quick fire round now, and the question today we're asking our panel is, how have you been affected? What is the stigma around seeking therapy? So to my first guest on the panel, Alex, how's it affected you?
So, identifying as a male, it's quite a challenge actually seeking therapy, and the reason being is that a lot of the time there's this stigma that you are expected to be able to deal with things yourself. You're expected that you can put on the mask and it's fine. And actually, I've been in relationships before where I've wanted to cry or I felt upset, and they've told me to man up, and they've told me that actually, stop making this about you. And people have said, it's okay to let it out, but there's still that stigma reinforced where you shouldn't show weakness, you're meant to provide.
Yes.
Now I think therapy is fantastic,
Yes.
and in fact I myself have gone for therapy, sometimes because there are things I need to talk about, and sometimes because I just want to try to improve myself, and my family have gone, oh, have we done something wrong? No, I think we need to change the attitude and actually see it that it doesn't mean something bad has happened per se. It just means that you want to find an outlet and have someone that can give you an alternative point of view.
That's very good.
Really good. Anybody else? That's amazing, Alex. I love your thought process on that, that you've moved forward. And you can share probably later on with us how we can also learn from that. Anybody else?
And yes, some men actually are more emotional
Yes.
than women.
Yeah.
That's what I've heard.
Yes.
That's what I've been told.
Yes. Yeah.
Because they seem to bottle it in more.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very
Well,
true.
they've had everything, and that's what I'm telling you, they've had their manhood taken away from them as well, and because of society and jobs, it's almost like the women does do everything, because she's trying to do the house and things like that as well.
Women are
poor men,
Women are very powerful.
once us women get together, they're kind of like kicked out, aren't they?
But is it that their manhood has been taken away, or is it society that's told them this is how you should be?
I don't know what it is, but I think it's really, really sad because it's just ruined the whole family thing. Women not being at home, it's not about women ruling the world necessarily. I know things have to change, but it's just about respecting and your family time again.
Yes. Yeah.
And I would also say that having therapy gives you an opportunity to bring more to your family time.
Yes.
And I think actually with it being an open thing and not bottling up, you have more to give to your family.
Yes.
And to stick therapy out. A lot of people go for therapy and they don't always continue the course, or there might be 10 sessions and then maybe only after 2 they think, oh,
why do you think
it's
that
not helping?
is?
Because
That's
I think
exactly
you've got to reach a goal before you actually get there. You start off at the bottom and after 2 or 3 sessions you might go home, and I can remember my husband saying, why are you doing that, Angie? It's putting you through everything. Why do you want to talk about everything? Because it's not helping you. But I stuck with it. 5, 10 sessions, different counsellors.
Did you stick
in
with
the
it
end?
because it's
I
helping
did.
you?
Yes, I knew it was going to help.
Okay.
I got right to the core of the problem.
But do you think 10 sessions is enough?
Well, it all depends.
It all depends.
It all depends what you've got in there.
Individuality.
It brings up everything in you.
It digs deeper.
It goes deep.
Yeah.
And
It all depends how much stuff you've got there.
And did it help at the end?
Yes, it did. I wouldn't be here today.
Because
Yeah.
I was
wouldn't be here.
hesitant at first to take therapy because I feel like I don't want people to think that I'm sick.
Yes.
Because I feel like I'm not sick. I went through something.
Yeah.
It's how I
Other
can
people
get
judge.
over it.
Yes.
But the thing is, I went for the therapy and it did help me.
Yeah.
Because if not, then that trauma or the hardship that I went through would be with me forever, isn't it?
Thank you.
Yeah.
You can't
Thank you
move
for saying that.
forward
Yeah.
if you're not healed
That's
internally.
right. That's very
You
true.
can't love a person again because you're not loving
that leads
yourself.
me to round up our show today. So thank you, panelists. But I'd like to just one question. I'd like to say, everyone give one answer to a positive to move forward in mental health. What's a positive for what you've been through? Just one sentence, quick sentence.
Well, it makes me love myself more
Lovely.
and give importance to self-care.
Great, Alex.
I'd say that when you meet adversity, you find yourself.
Excellent.
I say live life to the fullest.
Amazing.
I would just say it's a very, very tough struggle, mental health, but I'm just happy. I appreciate life. I'm grateful.
Appreciate life. That's
so that kind of like
Thank
you're going to
you.
have good and bad days, but
Thank
And we're
you.
survivors. I think we survive.
Yeah.
The more you go through, the more you can survive and be a strong,
Be more stronger.
strong person,
Stronger,
strong
yeah.
women. Yeah.
Yeah.
And over
That's what
to
it's
you,
about.
Anastasia.
Know your worth
Yes,
Yeah.
that's me. Yes.
and understanding the root cause
Yes.
of why you're feeling that way.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's so
And
important.
Very important.
Knowing that root and just managing it.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much, panelists, for your contribution to this show today. Thank you, everyone, for listening in. This is Mind Over Matter with Denny Miller. Look forward to seeing you next time for our next subject that we'll be discussing to do with mental health and any issues that you have. And see you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.